She was standing at the kitchen sink. The children were dressed mostly. One shoe was missing. The cereal bowl had tipped and there was milk on the floor, and she hadn't found the other shoe, and the clock was moving the way clocks only move when you are already behind. And for just a moment, just one, she stood very still, not because anything had stopped, but because something in her needed to. And in that stillness, in the 3 seconds between the spilled milk and the school run and the day that was already in full motion before she had finished waking into it, she thought, I haven't spoken to God yet. And it wasn't guilt. Exactly. It was more like the feeling of having left the house and halfway down the road realizing you have forgotten something that matters. Maybe this morning feels a little like that. Maybe you are already in the middle of something, the noise, the motion, the list, the people who need things from you before you have had a chance to find what you need yourself. And you are here, which means something in you is still reaching, still turning toward the light the way a plant turns. Not by deciding to, but by nature. Speak this prayer over your life this morning. Every word, let it move through your lips and into the room. At the end of this prayer, I am going to speak a blessing over the person who is carrying a whole household on their back this morning and has not yet asked for help. Stay until you hear it. It is for you. Before we begin, one small thing. The light came this morning. You did not ask it to. You did not earn it. You could not have stopped it. The light simply came the way it has come every morning since the first morning. Faithful and unhurried and entirely unconcerned with whether you are ready for it. That is something that is, in fact, everything. I sat at the window this morning for a few minutes before I came here, watching the light change, and I thought, the same God who arranged that light arranged this morning for you. Before the chaos, before the shoe went missing, before the list assembled itself in your chest before you were fully awake, He arranged this moment of quiet first. Here it is. Receive it. There are 3 places in Scripture I want to bring you this morning, not to explain them, to offer them. The way you offer something small and true to someone who has been carrying a great deal. The first, there is a book near the end of the Old Testament called Zephaniah. It is small. Most people have never read it. And near the end of it, there is a sentence that I have turned to more times than I can count. It says this, the Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. In His love, He will no longer rebuke you, but He will rejoice over you with singing. Zephaniah 3, verse 17. He will rejoice over you with singing. I want you to stay with that image for a moment. Not the rebuke, not the correction, not the impossible standard you have been holding yourself to this week. The singing. God, the God who holds the ocean in the hollow of His hand, who breathed the first breath into the first morning, that God is singing over you. Not over a better version of you. Not over the version that got everyone to school on time and had a quiet time and kept the kitchen clean. You, the one who is standing in the middle of the chaos, reaching for something quieter. He is singing over that person right now, in this very moment. Carry this today. I do not have to earn the song. He is already singing. The second, Isaiah writes in a passage that has the quality of water finding its way through rock. He writes, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. Isaiah 43. Verse 2, through, not around, through. The promise is not that the waters will disappear. The promise is that you will not be alone in them. And I think this matters enormously for the kind of morning that this is. Because some of us came to this prayer hoping that God would take the chaos away. Remove the missing shoe. Quiet the children. Still the anxiety. Fix the thing that has been broken for longer than we want to admit. And he might. He is certainly capable, but this passage says something different about how he most often works. He walks through it with you. The waters are still moving. The fire is still hot. The river is still fast. And he is there. In the middle, not watching from the bank, in the water with you, up to his waist in the chaos of your ordinary, difficult, beautiful morning. Carry this today. I am not walking through this alone. He is in the water with me. The third, this one I want you to receive slowly. In the book of Revelation, which most people approach with nervousness because of all the imagery, there is a sentence of extraordinary intimacy. Jesus says, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with them, and they with me. Revelation 3, verse 20. The door. He stands at the door of this morning, the door of this ordinary day, the door of a life that may feel from the inside more ordinary than sacred. And he knocks, not because he cannot enter, because he will not enter without being invited. He honors the threshold. He waits to be asked in, and when he's invited, he does not inspect the house. He does not catalog the mess. He does not stand at the door and draw up a list of what needs to change before he can be comfortable. He comes in and he sits down and he shares the meal, the ordinary meal, the unremarkable morning, the cereal and the coffee and the half-finished routines of a household that is doing its best. He sits in it with you. Carry this today. I am opening the door. He is already at it. He is already knocking. Come in. Lord, come in. Now let us become still. Still as the surface of the sea in the hour before dawn, when everything is suspended between dark and light, when the world is holding its breath before the morning breaks fully. You are in that threshold place right now, between what the night was and what the day will be. In the hinge of the morning, speak this prayer over your life. Let it come from somewhere real in you. Even if you are tired, even if the house is loud, even if your throat tightens a little when you try, because there is more in you this morning than you know how to say. Speak it anyway. He is already at the door. Lord of the morning threshold, I open the door. I open it the way you open a door that has been closed for a while, a little stiffly, a little carefully, not quite sure what you will find on the other side. But I open it because I heard something, not a loud thing, a quiet thing, a thing underneath the chaos, underneath the missing shoe and the spilled cereal and the clock that was moving too fast and the day that was already assembled and waiting for me before I was ready for it. Underneath all of that, something knocking. And I know who it is. Lord of the morning threshold, come in. Not into the tidy version of my life, into this one. The one with the dishes in the sink and the tiredness that didn't fully resolve overnight and the Sunday that felt close to you and the Monday that felt like you had left the room. Into all of it, come in and sit down. You said you would eat with me, so here is the table. Here is the morning. Here is all I have. Come in, stay. And there is more he wants to say to you about the singing that has been over you since before you woke up this morning. God who sings. I want to receive something this morning that I have been struggling to receive, that you delight in me. Not in spite of what this morning has been, but in it. Not someday, when I get more consistent. Now, here in the half-dressed children and the spilled milk and the prayer that I am saying, while one part of my mind is still running through the list, you rejoice over this. You rejoice over me. And I want to tell you honestly, that is hard to believe. Because the voice I hear most often about myself is not a rejoicing voice. It is a correcting voice, a not quite right voice, a you should be further along by now voice. And that voice I am beginning to understand is not yours. Your voice sounds like singing, like a parent singing over a sleeping child, not because the child has done anything, but because the love is so complete that it has to find expression. That is your voice over me. God, who sings, help me to hear it today. Underneath the noise, underneath the correcting voice and the comparison and the accumulated weight of trying to be enough for everyone who needs something from me, underneath all of it, you're singing. Let me hear it. What about the part of you that doesn't believe the singing is for you, that suspects it applies to everyone else, but somehow not to you? Not in this season, not in this state. Let's bring exactly that to him now. Out of the prayer for just a moment, I want to say something to the person who just prayed that, who acknowledged that the delight is hard to receive. That is not a failure. That is honesty. And honesty is one of the most sacred things you can bring to this threshold. The lie would be to say, of course I feel loved. Of course I feel delighted in, I'm fine. Everything is fine. The truth is harder, and the truth is what he can work with. Keep going. He is in this God of the waters. You said you would be with me when I pass through the waters. I want to name the waters, not in general, specifically the waters of this season, the thing that has been moving fast and cold around my ankles for longer than I want to admit. Maybe it's the exhaustion of the household, the relentlessness of it, the way it starts again every morning, regardless of how well or poorly I managed it the day before. Maybe it's the distance I feel in a relationship that used to be easier, the space that has grown between two people, and neither of us quite knows how to close it. Maybe it's the grief that arrived quietly, without announcement, and has stayed. Maybe it's the sense that I've been doing everything right, and the things that should be working aren't. God of the waters, I name these things, not to catalog them, to hand them to the God who promised to be in the water with me, because here is what I know about you. You do not stand on the bank and offer advice. You get in up to your waist, walking beside me through the current, not stopping the river, being more present than the river. And that I'm slowly learning is better. A river stopped is a pond, still stagnant, going nowhere. But a river with God in it is still a river, still moving, still carrying, still going somewhere. I can't see from here. Be in my river. Lord, be in the middle of it. I trust the current when I trust the one who is in it with me. He has not finished with you yet. What comes next is the door, the specific door of today, and the one who is standing at it. Emmanuel. I want to speak your name slowly this morning. Emmanuel, God with us. Not God watching us, not God commentating on us from a distance. God with us. In the kitchen, in the school run, in the moment at 11 a.m. when everything that could go wrong does, and I'm sitting in a car or a corridor or a bathroom, and I am holding it together by a thread. In that moment, Emmanuel, in the meeting where I am not sure I have what is needed, in the evening when the house finally goes quiet and I sit with what's left of me and wonder if I gave the right things to the right people today. In that quiet Emmanuel, you are not a God who shows up for the good parts. You are a God who is woven into the ordinary, into the spilled cereal, into the missing shoe, into the prayer that I'm saying while one part of my mind is still making a list. You are here in all of it. And I want to be someone who notices, not perfectly, not without distraction, but someone who, in the middle of the chaos, occasionally goes still and says, you are here. You are here. Hold that. Don't let go of it. Because what comes next is who you become when you carry that certainty into the rooms that ask the most of you. Out of the prayer for just one more moment. Is there one room you're walking into today, one specific threshold that feels particularly hard? Not the whole day, just one room. Name it quietly, and then speak what you just prayed into it. Emmanuel, God with me. In that room, at that table, in that conversation, take a breath, in and out. He is already there. Let's receive what this means for who you are. Ancient light. I want to speak over my own identity this morning. Not the identity the week has assigned me. Not the identity built from what I accomplish or fail to accomplish. From how well I manage the morning routine. From how patient or impatient I was yesterday. The identity that was given before any of that, before the children, before the job, before the list and the role and the responsibilities that have, over the years, accumulated around me like furniture in a room until I have forgotten what the room itself looked like. I was named before all of that. I have a name in the book of the one who made the morning, and that name is beloved, chosen, not earned, chosen. The way the light chooses the horizon without being asked, the way the tide comes in, reliable and unhurried. Not because the shore called it, but because the moon is faithful. Ancient light, remind me of who I am, not who I am performing, not who I am trying to be, who I am, beloved, held, singing over by God, in the water with, at the door, finding it open. That is who I am, and that is who walks into the day today. With that, just that, it is enough. God of the longshore, I want to end this prayer the way the tide ends its long journey across the ocean. Not with a crash, with a quiet arrival, a setting down. I sat down at your feet. Everything I was holding when I started this prayer. The guilt about not being present enough. The Sunday, Monday gap, that distance between the person I am in worship and the person I am in the kitchen on a Tuesday. The exhaustion that I keep not quite naming because if I name it, I'm afraid it will be too big. The love that is always larger than the capacity to express it for the children, for the people I am responsible for. For this life I have been given, which is both more than I deserve and sometimes more than I know what to do with. I set it all down. At the waterline, the way you set a stone on a beach and let the tide take it. Not because the stone disappears, but because the ocean is bigger than the stone, and your love, God of the longshore, is bigger than anything I have been carrying. So I let it go with both hands into the wide water of your presence. You are here. You are always here, and that is enough to begin again. You are still here. I am still here. And something beautiful happens at the meeting of those two truths. Keeper of the morning, I receive your presence now, not as something I have to maintain, not as a spiritual performance I must sustain through the hours as something you promised. I stand at the door of today, not from outside, but from inside, and I say, stay. Stay through the morning routine, stay through the commute, the meeting, the corridor, the lunch eaten too quickly. Stay through the moment in the afternoon when the peace runs thin and the tiredness runs deep. Stay through the evening when the household winds down and I am doing the last small things of the day, the tidying, the tucking in, the quiet closing of doors. Stay through the night. Stay. Because the word Emmanuel does not have a time limit. God with us, all of us, all the way through. And I go into this day as someone who knows this, not perfectly, but really, as a seed knows the earth, as the tide knows the shore, as the light knows the morning, I go into this day known and accompanied and sung over, and that changes everything. Before we close, 3 things to carry. The first, where today will you most need to remember that He is in the water with you, not removing the water, but present in it? Name that place quietly. It is yours. The second, the singing. When today will you need to hear it most? In what specific moment does the correcting voice tend to be loudest? Name that moment. And when it comes, say, He sings over me. The third, the door. Is there a place in your life where you have been keeping the door closed, where you have been managing things alone? Not because you wanted to, but because you forgot He was standing there? What would it mean to open it? Sit with that. If you prayed this morning, if something in these words meant something in you, leave a name in the comments. Not a prayer request, a name. Someone you want to carry the presence of God into their day to day. Just a name. We will hold them together. Speak this over your life one more time. He is with me. Through every hour, through every room, through every water I have to pass through today. Say it again. He is with me. Through every hour, through every room, through every water I have to pass through today. One more time, let it be true. He is with me. Through every hour, through every water, He is with me. 3 moments to carry this. In the morning, before the chaos finds its full voice, He is with me through every hour. In the middle of the hardest moment, He is in the water with me. I will not be swept away. Before sleep, looking back at the day, He was there. In all of it, even the parts I didn't notice, He was there. Before the morning fully opens, before the threshold is crossed and the day begins in earnest, receive this. May God go before you into every room you enter today. May His presence be the quietest thing in the loudest moment. May the singing find you in the places where the correcting voice has been loudest. May you know in the crossing of the threshold today that you are not alone. May the waters move, they will move, and may you feel the steady presence of the one who wades in with you. Not to remove the river, to be deeper than it. May your home be held in His hands today. The children, the spouse, the people who need you, may they feel, without knowing why, a gentleness in the rooms you move through because you have come from a place of presence and you carry it with you. May the door you open this morning stay open all day, and may He stay. As He promised He would, go gently. Beloved, the God who sings over you is walking beside you through every hour, all the way through. Amen. You are not someone who moves through the morning unseen. You are someone the God of the morning has been singing over since before the alarm went off. Amen. Tomorrow morning, we're going to pray a prayer that meets you before the day begins in full. When the world hasn't found you yet and the morning is still yours, we are going to speak directly to the anxiety that wakes up in the first hour. I'll be here. Will you